Welcome to Let Me Know How It Is, a pop culture podcast about animation, TV, movies, comics, and more. This is our year-end annual where we look back at our favorite things from 2024 and what we're looking ahead to in 2025. I'm Zach Slater.
I'm Frank Melman.
And I'm Clifton.
All right, so longtime listeners, I know what you're thinking. You never finished the Batman Cape Crusader Season 1 review. We know. Reassured. We have parts 3 and 4 coming your way shortly. I just wanted to let you guys know. We did want to get this episode in. Guys, how was your 2024?
Pretty good.
Pretty good?
Not bad.
Yeah.
Good.
How about yours?
Mine was good. My list is a little light this year.
Okay. All right.
I will I'm gonna let all the listeners know why exactly that is. So my wife and I, we welcomed our baby girl in 2024.
Oh yeah.
So
Yay.
There's a little one in the house again, and not a lot of time for
Anything?
watching TV and reading comics and stuff like that. I do have a couple of things. I'm gonna save my ranked number 1 favorite thing from 2024 at the end. It is something I just came across.
All right.
Also, so it's a very, very recent watch. So I'll keep you guys on the edge of your seats for that. But what do you guys want to start with? What's something you loved?
You can just tell us your list is all killer, no filler. So you're
Right.
not beating around the bush. You're not wasting any of our time. You're just only good things.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll work.
Clifton, why don't you start us off? What's something you liked in 24?
In 24, I am going to go with Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off was the animated Scott Pilgrim series on Netflix that reunited the entire cast, the entire massive giant ensemble cast from the 2010 Scott Pilgrim film, all came back, this time in animated form. So to provide the voices for the characters they played the first time around. And did either of you watch the show?
No, I still have not seen it.
I did watch it.
Nope.
Okay. Did you watch all of it?
I did watch all of it.
Okay.
Yes, I did.
I'm not gonna spoil much of it in case people didn't watch it, and like Frank did not watch it.
Okay.
I will just say that I didn't know what we were going to be getting ahead of time. I knew they were reuniting the voice, or they were reuniting the cast for something. Then it turned out to be animated, so I realized they were the voice cast, and I wasn't sure what the show would be, because they didn't really tell us much off the bat. And I had theories based on, just years of watching animation and anime and Japanese inspired things that also inspire Scott Pilgrim. And something that happens in manga a lot, or in manga and anime adaptions a lot, is that, a manga series will become a hit series. It will then be adapted into an anime series that will be very faithful to a point until that animated series catches up to where the manga is. And then multiple different things can happen at that point, and different series have been different examples of that, where it'll, can drift around and make up its own story until it waits for the manga to keep moving along so it can adapt it again. Or it just goes off in its own way, or it, just keeps going. And then eventually, when the manga series it is based on is complete, it goes back and readapts it all again, but more faithful to the book this time, because now the book is done before the anime starts being adapted. And I thought that might be what was happening with Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, because as we talked about way back in our Scott Pilgrim episode early in our podcast, the movie was picked up and optioned when only volume 2 of Scott Pilgrim out of 6, I think, was on the shelves. And the movie and the rest of the manga series, the other 4 volumes, were written kind of concurrently. So there are differences. There are things where one is informed by the other, but they're not exactly the same because they were kind of happening at the same time. So I thought we were getting like a Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood type thing, which is where it goes back, does a whole new adaptation, but just like the book that's now complete. And in Scott Pilgrim, I will spoil this much. In episode 1, I thought that's what we were getting, because episode 1 of Scott Pilgrim's Takes Off is literally volume 1 of the book, like beat for beat, word for word, until it's not.
Exactly. Isn't it?
And then when it's not is a surprise.
But isn't
and
it
what
so
happens?
gratifying to watch when it's like, yeah, I think this is just an adaptation. And
Right.
and it also, I mean, and it feels a lot like the movie too in that thing. And it's like, okay, I guess they're just readapting it. And then there's a moment that comes and it's like, oh wait,
Yep.
this is much different.
This is not the same thing at all.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll leave it, other than in details, other than to discuss broadly. It really plays with your expectations of what's an adaptation, what's a reimagining, what's a sequel even, and does it in a lot of cool ways, but in all the ways that are cool about the movie too. So the characters are cool, the music's cool, the setting's cool. I'd recommend it for anyone who has not watched it yet.
I will co-sign all of these things. This was on my list too. It's stupendous. Like, it's awesome. I highly enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think the thing for me, I think I like it more than the movie.
Okay.
Wow.
For some reason it may be my memory. It was I watched it a long time ago. I watched it basically when it just came out. But I remember more of like the heart moments than like the bombastic moments. And it just it feels like more of that than like, and the movie feels very bombastic to me. and with not as much heart as I think the show is. And I think that it's sort of, I think the show what am I trying to say? Sort of hits the balance well of all that stuff. Like, yeah, I was just so surprised with it. I thought it was really, really great.
Yeah. I mean, getting to that point, again, speaking broadly, not to spoil it for people who haven't watched it, because I do recommend going to see it. And I don't know how many people watched it on Netflix. I'm not sure how big it was, honestly, but it is worth it. But speaking to that, it is a project that is informed by the source material, the adaptations, and the distance in time between now and when the original source material and movie came out. So it does respond to time and maturity of everybody involved, the world involved, everything. It does look back at the lens of the original stuff and be like, let's re-examine that. Let's look at that a different way. And that's what it does.
Very good. No, it's a good one.
Nice.
Frank, how about you?
What did I like this year? I enjoyed, and it was one of those things where I was kind of iffy about it. I didn't know if it was going to be something that I would enjoy, even though I enjoyed the game very much. Because a lot of times it's tricky to adapt something that you like a video game, into something else.
Mm-hmm.
But I found myself, I really enjoyed the first season of Fallout.
Okay.
I thought Fallout was pretty great. If you're not familiar with Fallout or the Fallout games, the series, basically there's a total nuclear annihilation. World is sort of a mess topside, but down below in the Vault-Tex, in the Fallout vaults, there are people and civilizations that are surviving. I don't know if they're thriving, but they've survived since like the late 50s when the bombs were dropped. And we pick up with Ella Purnell as Lucy. Things happen and she has to go topside to see what the Earth is like. You also have Walton Goggins playing a ghoul. Ghouls are pretty much people who survive the initial bombs dropping and are kind of zombie-esque, but not quite. They found a way to some of them to basically fend off their flesh-eating ways. So there's them, and there's also Aaron Moten, who's part of a group called the Brotherhood of Steel, which is a group that wears power armor and kind of sort of is quasi-religious, but quasi kind of knightish, kind of a Knights of the Round Table type group. And all these various factions clash. But you also have tons and tons of mutated animals and food and people trying to survive. And there's sort of a thing of people in the vaults don't know how well they have it versus the people topside. And then you also find out the company Vaultec, the ones who built the vaults in the first place way back when, that they've got a thing going on. So there's a lot of backstory. There's also a lot of flashbacking to the time when, before the bombs were dropped. I loved it. I really did think they did a great job of giving you a good taste and flavor for the games, and a lot of stuff that you may have seen examined in other worlds where the worlds fall apart, like The Walking Dead or what's another good post-apocalyptic show?
Last of Us?
Yeah, like The Last of Us, where people are just trying to survive. But it's also one of those things where first season doesn't really even scratch the surface of what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
They do get into some of the backstory of what could have possibly caused the war and about people's backgrounds and stuff. And I really did enjoy it. I was surprised at how well done it was. It's Jonathan Nolan is one of the people
nice.
behind it, as well as Lisa Joy, who had worked on Westworld.
Right. Yeah, they were the Westworld team.
Yeah, highly recommend it. Really good looking series, really well done. Even if you've never played the game, it really doesn't matter. It was a great series. I'm looking forward to season 2. Season 2 is supposed to be coming, I guess, sometime this year, but I've not heard exactly when. But yeah, I really liked it a whole lot. Thought it was really well done.
Yeah, I watched it and was not all that familiar with the games. I've never played the games. I've watched some people play the games on Twitch and stuff. So I've seen like play-alongs. So I was a little familiar with the world, and yeah, you don't need to be, in the know on the video games to enjoy the show. It's a crazy show. It is a crazy, wild show.
Yep.
And daring. And I can't believe, Amazon Prime made it, but it's definitely a daring out there show for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I thought the 3 leads are great. I think she's great as your intro character.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She is great.
You're kind of wide-eyed ingenue in this world of, not really understanding how the world worked or works.
Mm-hmm.
And then Goggins is always great. I love that guy. And I like Aaron Moten. I think Aaron Moten does a good job of wanting to follow his duty as a Brotherhood of Steel guy, but also, willing to make choices that doesn't necessarily agree or jibe with what they would want him to do. So I thought it was great. I can't wait for season 2.
Mm.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go. I am still in shock how much I liked X-Men 97.
Yeah. Yeah.
I really can't believe how good it was.
Yeah.
Kind of hard to put into words. I think we did do a review of like sort of our snap judgments to the trailer when it came out. I think they nailed like the visual style as far as making it look like the show, but also like, zhuzhing it up and heightening it and sweetening it up a bit and everything and making it look better. But the thing that I was not ready for was like they upped like the sophistication of it. They really did. Like I was really surprised like how smart it was.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not throwing shade at the X-Men animated show or anything like that, but I was expecting a lot more like 90s jokes and I really liked the discipline that they didn't go for that they really went for a fun era of X-Men that it made me realize like how much I miss those characters. Like I haven't really been with those characters in a long, long time.
Yeah.
And it was fun watching it going like, oh yeah. Like, I remember why I liked them in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
They adapt some like interesting stories. Then a lot of them, I mean, it's like 22 minutes. It is crazy that they got some of the stories down to 22 minutes, like Inferno. Like we get a 22-minute version of the entire Inferno event, which is, a key moment of that time period of the comics, like right when I was getting into a lot of the X-Men stuff in at that point in time. And what was the Forge Storm story? I forget what
Life Death
called. Life Death, yes.
Yeah, Life Death 1 and 2.
Yeah. Like, I mean, it's really cool, like what they were like from that time period able to adapt that we hadn't seen get adapted into stuff in all this time. But they were key stories to that time period that they were still able to mine and present in cool and new ways.
Yeah, no, the Life Death is a great two-parter by Claremont and Chris Claremont and Barry Windsor Smith. Really beautiful stuff. It's a high point for both those characters. But I was so struck by how nostalgic I felt afterwards
Mm-hmm.
by the whole series. It was one of those things where I found myself checking out X-Men stuff.
Nostalgic for the old show, for the comics, for the
characters in the comics. I was
Okay.
not, I mean, I watched handfuls of the original, and I liked it, but I'd never, I see people talk about it in much the ways that we talk about like Batman the Animated Series and stuff, and I liked it. I never really liked it enough to keep watching it.
Mhm.
But this series, I loved it. I mean, it was definitely a lot of things that I knew, and all the stuff that I'd heard and seen about it said that they encouraged everyone that was encouraged to let their X-Men freak flag fly about how much they love the books and the characters in the original series, and not be afraid to be like, no, we're taking all ideas on this.
Yeah.
And I think it shows how much everyone involved loved the stuff that they were working on.
Yeah, it shows. It shows. Like unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
Also, like you were saying, like getting into like Cable's awesome, and we're gonna like, and we're gonna play with that. Like,
Right. Yeah.
I kind of like the discipline also to not have like Wolverine in your face.
No, he's used. I think he's used just enough.
Yeah.
I think characters that have really cool moments get to have really cool moments, and then step aside, let someone else have cool moments.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a dominant show. I didn't feel like it was. I mean, the opener with Cyclops is still by far the coolest I've ever seen him outside of the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
mean, that was amazing. I thought the towards the end, the bit with I remember talking this over with Tommy. Tommy and I were saying that I never really got to see Nightcrawler's powers displayed quite that way.
Yeah.
What that's like for someone with him, and to be teleported, and it was fantastically cool. Thought it was awesome. I mean, his stuff was great. I mean, there were just so many great moments, and then like, just the Genosha episode.
Mm-hmm.
Without giving anything away, that was that was an amazing thing. I remember I had not seen it, and I watched I watched all 4 of them in one night up to that point, and was blown away by how good it was.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it steers into mutant culture and stuff like that,
Mm-hmm.
which is something that I think a lot of writers, like modern writers, are tackling and stuff. So I do think like it blends really well, like modern things that are
Mm-hmm.
that have come along
while showcasing 90s villains, which I thought was really interesting. But no, I agree with you, because Morrison was one of the ones I first recognized, like a lot of the idea of like, let's delve into what it would be like to have, like you said, mutant culture, like Jumbo Carnation, like the fashion designer and artists that are also mutants and stuff. But overall, I mean, it was great. The where we're left at the end of the season, I'm excited for where it may go. I don't know where it's going to go, but speculative wise, I'm pretty excited. So
Yep, but I'm in. I'm excited for more too.
mm-hmm.
So all right, Clifton, you're up. What else did you like?
So I thought this one I was going to bring up like kind of a like quirky, unexpected one. And then it went and got nominated for 3 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Director, and Best Actress.
Okay.
And that is The Substance.
Okay.
Starring Demi Moore.
Yeah.
It was a movie that I had no idea what I was getting into. I was one of the ones who saw it in a theater in its first run. I had seen the trailer for it, and the trailer for it presents kind of like broad, kind of little bit of a sci-fi idea of a actress who's, of a certain age, and in Hollywood, it's not good to be of a certain age.
Mm-hmm.
And she's presented with the option to experience a younger life if she takes the substance.
Mm-hmm.
And the trailer looked fun and energetic, and I had no clue what movie we were getting into with that premise. It seemed, kind of like cautionary science fiction, maybe thriller, suspense, little bit of a story. That is not what we get at all.
Mm-hmm.
We get something completely different. I will give the warning: it is not for the squeamish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is straight, full-on body horror, which isn't for everyone. And
Right.
I'm not sure how it got nominated for Best Picture because of that. Not for lack of quality. I'm just shocked that many people watched it all.
Right.
I'm just surprised that they, sat through it all 3 acts. But it is great. It is a fantastic ride if you're up for it. If you have the stomach for it.
And she's pretty great in it, from what I hear.
Yeah, well, both it's Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They're both fantastic in it's a smallish cast. Dennis Quaid's in it. But yeah, the 2 leads, Margaret Qualley, Demi Moore, both fantastic and certainly well-deserved nomination. And I believe Demi Moore won the Golden Globe for the same for the movie as well. I mean, it's one of those things after, however many years she's been working in the business, it is a very daring role that she does earn the awards for this time, I believe. And I mean, director, I wasn't familiar with the work, but it's stylish, it's savvy, it's solid directing.
Mm-hmm.
But the movie is crazy. It is like one of the craziest movies I've seen in years. And I was telling people like at work about it after I saw it. This movie was so crazy. And they were like, "Oh, like, are you, like, should we see it? Are you just saying you're recommending it?" I was like, "I'm not recommending this." I was like, "We have an HR department. I'm not recommending anybody see this movie." But it was crazy and fantastic. I'm just not telling you to go see it.
Right.
There's rules, yeah.
Nice.
But
that's funny.
Yeah. But it's great. I mean, it is a good movie. And a friend of mine who went to see it started a slow clap at the end when you could tell the audience wasn't sure what we had all just sat through. But it was funny because everyone did. Like, everyone was with it. Everyone was like making, lean in the right ways and turning the right ways with the movie. Like, everywhere it wanted you to go, the audience was into it. But it was a crazy audience going experience as we're all like slowly figuring out what in the world is happening.
So was it a slow clap because you all survived the trauma of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Very good.
So that's mine. The Substance.
Nice.
Watch it if you dare.
Frank?
Well, I'm going to go TV again. I found myself watching a lot more television than other things than I did in the past year. I read some stuff, but I read a lot of stuff that was older Marvel horror stuff. And while I enjoyed it, it's obviously not from this year, so I'll skip that for another episode.
Okay.
But I did find a series, or a mini-series, I should say, that I loved, that I was trying to push on everyone just because I wanted to talk about it. And nobody watched it with me, so I just said, okay, fine. I'll enjoy it myself. It was an HBO miniseries, a little thing called The Penguin.
Oh, okay.
I loved The Penguin. Loved it. I recommend it to everyone I possibly could, whether they like the Batman or not. My feelings about the Batman have not changed. Even though after watching the entire Penguin mini, I went back and watched the Batman again, and then to see if I could gain any more insight into the Penguin, and then watch the Penguin all over again.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. It made me watch a movie that I was kind of on, just because I like Colin Farrell's performance so much in the series, as well as in the movie.
Long movie. You're kind of on.
It is.
Yeah.
But I have to say that he's brilliant as Oswald Cobb.
Oz Cobb.
He's great. He is fantastic as the character. I think the makeup artist, the guy who did the makeup, the guy deserves all of the awards ever, because you just don't. He's so disappeared into. Mike Marino is his name. He's the guy that designed the makeup for Colin Farrell. And again, if you didn't know better, you would just think that Colin Farrell's character is some regular actor. I think it's a fantastic job, just the look, but the story is great. I thought that The showrunner, her name is, let me find it real quick, Lauren LaFranc. She was fantastic. She did a great job. It's one of those things where I don't, I keep telling people how good it is, and I don't want to give anything away if you don't know too much about it. But overall, it's one of those things where I've talked to a couple people about it, and I said my biggest thing is that as much as I love the character of the Penguin in the comics and animated series and other movies and stuff, I kind of always have had that feeling of I can understand that he goes toe to toe with Batman, but I think this is the first time that gives me a Penguin that's worthy of Batman, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
Just the stuff that he manages to pull off and the stuff that he managed to do and the lengths that he's willing to go to get what he wants. I think he's great. But Kristen Milioti is great in it. Sophia Falcone, she's fantastic. Renzi Feliz, who played Victor Aguilar, he's great. And then I would say the other one that's the real standout is the one who plays his mother.
Nice.
Yeah, she's really good too. Deidre O'Connell. She was known mostly for stage work and I think she's a Tony Award winning actress. She's done some stuff in movies, but yeah, she's great in this as Frances Cobb.
Okay. She's
so good. But top to bottom, it's such a great series. There's talk of another season that we might get before we get the Batman 2.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't have any insight. I have no skinny on anything. I think that they will find a way to make Colin Farrell's Penguin part of Gunn's universe, even though it's not going to be the same Penguin from the Batman, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
I think they would be foolish not to try and give us a version of him that may be toned down or that fits into what Gunn's plan is, because he's just that good. Even though Colin Farrell said he's tired of the voice and tired of wearing the prosthetic and everything, I think that overall, this is where DC comes and dumps the dump truck full of money at his house and says, please, please, please play the Penguin as long as possible.
He won the Golden Globe.
Yeah. For
playing the Penguin. His speech is pretty darn touching. It's pretty great.
Yeah, he's very thankful for what, I liked his who he thanked and all that stuff. I thought he was great in that. Kristen Milioti should have won too. She's amazing in it. And it's not a word I like throwing around when I talk about performances, but I thought her performance is so good and so strong in it. I almost wonder that if they do a season 2, what they'll do with her or with another character, just because how much they explore her character in it. And then also, I did mention him before, but Clancy's in it. Clancy Brown, and Clancy's always fantastic in anything. I think Clancy would be, is an awesome addition to whatever he's a part of. So it was good to have him in it as well. So
nice.
I did watch all of it.
You did?
All of it. Yeah, I saw it all.
Oh my God. Okay. And
you didn't know, so we couldn't talk about it. I watched it later than you, and I did not watch it as many times.
Okay.
No, I did enjoy it a lot.
Yeah.
And again, it was a show that, I liked the Batman movie, whatever it's called. I liked it fine.
Right.
I enjoyed it, but even still, I was like, the Penguin in that, he's there. He's not a driving factor in the Batman film. He's just there.
No, you're right.
And so I was not that, keen on the show. Is just to be like, I don't need that. I was like, what can you give me with them?
Right.
But I like that the show picks up exactly where the movie ends.
Yes.
So it does. It's not like, how did that guy in the Batman get to where he was, where we saw him in the Batman? It's where did that guy go after we saw him in the Batman with what happened to Gotham, the devastation that happens to Gotham at the end of the Batman. So right there, I was interested more in that hook.
Yeah.
And he is fantastic in it. He is great. And I like his, it's right off the bat in the show where it's the dynamic that he does something brash and stupid and then has to be smart to get out of it over and over.
Yes.
Because he's that character. He will do brash and stupid just because he's whatever reason.
Yeah.
And then he has to be like, how do I get myself out of this?
Right.
And has to be smart and clever to make up for doing stupid things.
Yeah. Impulsively,
impulsive things.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
My biggest thing is, I think just overall, I like the way it was shot. I thought the performances were just great. I thought it was well written. again for all of you youngins, you youngsters, you don't know how good you got it. There would, the idea that we would have gotten this kind of level of writing on a character like the Penguin. And again, I say that as, Zach knows I love the Penguin. I think he's underutilized. I think he's a great character, but it's one of the things where to finally get something like this it's amazing. So if you haven't watched it, check it out.
I feel vindicated because I called Penguin's time was coming.
Mm-hmm.
if you recall.
Well, again, I going back to what Clifton said, I think that if you go back and look at the movie and then look at the series again, like I did, you see that the way he is in The Batman, it does feed into what he does in the series, and that's all I'll say. Right. I don't want to give anything away.
This was on my list last year for my things in 24 I was looking forward to.
Right.
And I did not get around to it yet.
Okay.
I did not get around to anything on the list that I listed in that episode.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I'm very, very pleased and happy that it's seems to be unanimously across the board, like regarded as like, no, wow, that's surprisingly a good show.
Mm-hmm.
Which is good. It's making me excited to check it out. I'm gonna go with my other thing. It's a before I get to my number one, this is a slightly bit of a cheat. I think to be perfectly honest, what I'm about to say did come out technically in 2023, but I found it in 24.
Okay.
I watched it early 24. And sadly it has not been picked up for a second season yet, but I'm very, very hopeful. And this is History's Greatest Heists with Pierce Brosnan.
Okay.
Yeah. I love this show. So it's on History Channel. It's
okay.
One of those true crime, we reenact bits of the heist with actors and stuff like that, but then we talk to like sort of the people that are still around, sort of the law enforcement people that work the case, some crime historians, some journalists that so it's a bit of a talking head show, but you do also have kind of like a fun actors like reenacting like bits of it for a few shots, and then and Pierce Brosnan is actually like pretty great in it. I love Pierce Brosnan. I thought that he was just gonna be kind of like on the heads and tails and sort of but like he does like really do a good job of kind of like setting the mood and the stakes of things. He's a pretty great host for it. I was thrilled with this. I loved it. So I recommend it to anybody. Like if you love caper movies, like each one is just like a little caper movie. Like it's just that's how they're all plotted.
So he's not like Thomas Crown.
No. Yeah, no.
Okay, I'm just asking. I'm just making sure. I'd be fine if he
very
was.
much him. It's very much him. But it's
okay.
But no, I mean, like it's really well done, and I thought, I was hoping with like as popular as like true crime stuff can be,
right?
That this would have been a home run, that we would get a second season by now. But I mean, it's not been a peep yet. But that was a big surprise for me. I really dug that one. I don't think either of you guys have seen it, right?
No, I didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know about it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Giving me something that I'm like, I'm curious about that. That sounds great.
So seek it out. I don't know, unfortunately, what it's on. I DVR'd all of them.
Okay.
So that's how I checked
do you know
them
if it's streaming anywhere?
I don't know. I don't.
Okay.
I sure hope so.
Looks like you may be able to find it on History Channel.
Okay.
History streaming.
Okay. There then.
Excellent.
And Roku Channel on Roku.
Okay.
So there may be some streaming options for it.
Okay. I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with one that's outside. It's just slightly outside of 2024, but I got to it in 2024 finally. And that's a video game.
Mm-hmm. I
found myself, and I'm still playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Okay.
I was not, I'd heard good things about it, and it was one of those things where I wanted to get it for the longest time, and I finally got a PS5, and I finally got to play it, and I have to say, whether you're an old-timey guy like me that played, like, D&D in high school, it's Dungeons & Dragons, or junior high, I should say, and then you fell out of it, or you're playing modern stuff, or you've just been curious to play it, it's great. It basically starts off with the premise that you're on a mind flayer ship. This is you basically get infected with the parasite. It's going to turn you into a mind flayer, and that's gives you your ticking clock. And then you basically have to meet people and build your party, and you do stuff, and you can wander all over. And there's a story, obviously, but you can do a million different side quests. I am amazed at how much it is like it's I mean, obviously you're saying, well, Frank, is it really like D&D? Is there dice rolling? And I'm like, yes, there absolutely is dice rolling on screen. You do sometimes have to have saving throws. There's perception checks. There's all that good stuff. There's a million monsters in it. There's a million different characters and races and all that great stuff. I love it. I think it's an amazing game. I'll give you an example. I'm playing a rogue character. I am able to, you can basically drink a potion, or you can have it as a spell, the ability to talk to animals. And I was able to talk to what looked like a group of spiders having a conversation, and they were. And mind you, you could go through and just, savagely fight every single thing that you encounter if you want to, but I don't recommend it because you'll get slaughtered. But you can talk to pretty much every. As far I've not encountered anything so far that you cannot go up to and talk to. People, trolls, orcs, monsters. You can talk to anything. But in this particular case, I took this potion, was able to talk to these spiders, and found out that they were with a dwarf, or in this dungeon, and I basically talked them out of being with this guy so that I wouldn't have to fight them. And I had to roll a certain amount to make sure that my persuasion worked in talking them out of it. Now, you can also intimidate them, or you can also deceive them, but I persuaded them to be like, you'll get a better deal if you go with somebody else.
Okay.
And again, that's just one example of all the millions of things you could do in this game. So I'm quite impressed with it. I think it's great. If you like that sort of thing, if you're, like I said, if you've never played D&D before in your life, you want to get a taste of it. Oh, and there's also a narrator that tells you you walk into a cavern and there's all these things, and what do you do? That kind of stuff. So it does a great job of creating the experience if you don't really want to sit down with a group of people and play. But I love it. I think it's awesome.
Very cool. I've heard of it. I've watched some people play on Twitch. I've seen some playthroughs. It looks really cool.
Yeah, it's like I said, I was amazed at how much, because it is free roaming, but it also is RPG. Like when you go into combat, it becomes a very turn-based thing.
Right.
But yeah, it is not disappointing me in the least. And like I said, I'd heard really good things about it for a very long time, but I think it's awesome. So
you playing it on PS?
Yeah, PS5.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really good.
All right. Speaking of not disappointing me in the least, and awesome and really good, this is my number one pick for 2024. It came out in the summer of 2024. I just saw it recently, and I'm really surprised how much I liked it. Also, Watchmen Chapter 1.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the first of the 2-part animated Watchmen adaptations, which both came out in 2024. The reason I'm not detailing Chapter 2 is that I haven't seen Chapter 2 yet, because Chapter 2 has not come to Max yet. But you can watch Chapter 1 because it's on Max. In any case, I'm stunned and blown away by how good this was.
Okay.
I mean,
good.
they freaking nailed it. They really nailed it.
Okay.
And I'll be honest, and I wasn't I thought the trailers looked cool, but I was I was a little skeptical. I was rooting for it. Brandon Vietti is the director on this, of Young Justice fame. So it's really, really exciting that, he landed the big one and kind of crushed it.
Right.
J. Michael Straczynski is the screenwriter on this.
Okay.
I don't bring him up very often. I'll just say that.
We don't talk about One More Day on the show. So.
Well, not well, but
he
doesn't come up
did
often.
write Babylon 5.
Yeah, doesn't come up often. He nailed it too. I mean, he really did. It feels lush. it feels like the book. It really, really does. And and there's even one aspect of it where I think like they utilize the medium to kind of like I think even like further drill in an idea of the book. Maybe I don't want to say a little better, but it does make you feel it a little more. In a way, something involving Dr. Manhattan and how he perceives the world.
Okay.
Utilizing film, I think, does illustrate a little bit more clearly to people, I think, what it must feel like than when you read it, which is also pretty darn clear when you read it, but it's just sort of to have it sort of wash over you. I have a feeling I'm the only one that's seen it.
Yes.
Okay.
I knew it was out, but I've not got a chance to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've not seen it yet.
Just pleasantly surprised. Can't wait to see this. Can't see the second one. Like so good.
Who is some of the voice cast?
Matthew Rhys is Night Owl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
From the Americans. Like he was also a big get. I was like, wow, they got him. He's really busy. Like he's in Spielberg movies and stuff. Like Katie Sackhoff was Laurie.
Okay.
Oh wow. Okay.
Titus Welliver was Rorschach.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's an interesting choice.
He's good. I
like him. I'm a fan of his. I'm just surprised. I mean, it's an interesting choice for Rorschach. So okay.
This is a one thing I will say about it that I do think sort of like the voice, like the like the Zack Snyder take on Rorschach, the voice, like that does carry over.
Okay.
There is a little bit of like that adaptation, I think, also like informed a little bit, of things. Right. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying like, but it is one thing that I will say is that and I'm gonna get his name wrong. Michael Servis is the voice of Dr. Manhattan.
Okay.
And like the Zack Snyder adaptation, he just sounds like a very, very soft spoken, normal guy.
Right.
Right. And that's always been the interesting thing to me is that like when you look at Dr. Manhattan in the book, he's the one that I always assumed sounded differently because of the way his word balloons are.
Right.
Right. Like his word balloons are not just black text on white. Like they're black text on blue and they're shaped a little differently. And it does kind of give you this indication of like, oh, like he may sound different.
Right.
Right.
And so they both made that decision, which I thought was kind of interesting. But yeah, no, loved it. Really, really loved it.
Okay, good.
Yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and do our list for what we're looking forward to in 2025.
I'm excited for arguably one of the biggest movies of the summer. I'm just going to say it. James Gunn's Superman.
Okay.
I have to admit the trailer got me. I just was not expecting to feel as emotional as I felt about the trailer, but it got me. I don't know if it was crypto. Spoiler. I don't know if it was crypto. I don't know if it was just the theme or the fact that, Superman doing Superman stuff in it. I don't know. I mean, I finally got caught up on my adventures with Superman and was in a good Superman place, and then saw the trailer, and I have to admit I got a little caught up. A little caught up in it. I think it looks great. I'm super excited for it. We haven't got a really chance to talk much about it outside of, talking about it amongst ourselves.
Right.
What do you guys think?
Crypto got me too. I mean, it's funny that you said it. Like it did. I got a little, I don't know why. I don't know what it is about that moment.
No,
I'm not really sure. Up a little bit.
Yeah, right. For sure. Well, I mean, and again, I think people love to be jerks and say that Gunn uses animals as a trope, and I'm like, no, the dude genuinely loves his animals. I've seen him interviewed. I don't think he's trying to milk it to make you feel, one way or the other. I think it's a genuine thing, and if you've had pets and you love your animals and you take care of them, treat them like family, it's hard not to think of Superman doing the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. Especially even more so when you think about, everything he's lost, and that's something that from home, and I'm not sure which origin they're going to go with, but for crypto, I'm saying, but the idea that Superman's just a regular guy with a dog who happens to have superpowers, I've always loved that concept. So I think it's awesome.
I think there are three things in the trailer that really, really impressed me.
Mm-hmm.
One was the colors.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not the only one that has said this, because I've seen, I've talked to people, and this has come up, and it not brought up by me. Like, I really like the shade of blue of the costume.
Yeah.
Like, in the colors of, like, it looks like a colorful movie, like a bright movie. And I love that. And I was comparing his suit to some of the other suits that we saw in the past, were like the Brandon Routh costume, which wasn't a bad costume, but I'm looking at like that red, and I had forgotten how much that red was almost like brown.
Yeah.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. It's a ruddy red. For sure.
And then I look at like the Henry Cavill, which, man, boy, does somebody look like Superman more than Henry Cavill. But it's like, that costume is just awful. Like, I just hate it. Like, it's so dark, and so like, and this is, it's got trunks, which I love. It's great. So that was one of the things that struck me. I also thought kind of a brilliant decision to start him off vulnerable and bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
It answers the question, or it answers the critique that many people have about Superman all the time. He's too powerful,
right,
and he's never in danger. Well, right from the first start of this trailer, you're seeing Superman is down for the count, and he needs help. He can't move, and he has to call his dog to help get him home.
Well, just the concept of Superman needs help is so rare. We don't always get that in everything. Yeah. So
beautiful. No, I love that bit.
Yep.
And the third I'll save and wait until he comes up in conversation if we get to him.
Okay.
Listen, what'd you think of the Superman?
No, it looks fun. I'm excited for it. Crypto was fun. I'd seen the reveal because James Gunn had put out the like a wallpaper for your phones with Crypto and Superman on the moon, like looking at Earth. And I've had that on my phone since then, whenever that was that he put that out, long before the trailer came out. So I was looking forward to Crypto in the trailer. Nicholas Hoult as Lex.
Yeah.
I think is going to be fun. It's going to be like Tony Stoneham from Skins as Lex Luthor. So I'm ready for like a whole Skin Superman crossover. Just bring me like Kaya Scodelario as Lena Luthor. I would take that as well. She's fantastic. So that's my fan casting for the future. But no, I think Nicholas Holt's going to be a lot of fun as Lex. I like him. I like him a lot in things I've seen him in over the years.
Yeah, I do too.
He's pretty versatile.
I think it's going to be a smart Lex, which is going to be fun.
He was on Rosenbaum's podcast talking a little bit about being Lex, and they were both talking about being Lex, and that in Rosenbaum's studio where he records his podcast, he's got a poster of the original Superman, and Hackman, when he met him, signed it, and he signed it to the second best Lex Luthor. It's Gene Hackman. So I thought that was a great story. But yeah, I think he's going to be great too. I think all the casting so far looks really good. I think it's be. I think that we get the fact that we got glimpses of Miss Terrific and Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner. Mm-hmm. I think they're not much like. If you got a chance to see Creature Commanders, I think that the it's going to be, we're not going to have to. I don't think we're going to have like explanations of why or who these characters are necessarily. I think you'll know what I think you'll understand through what they do, what they're like. But I don't think we're going to have those moments of stopping and explaining what and who these people are.
Right.
And we got a glimpse of Metamorpho too, which is pretty great.
You brought up Guy, and I'll end on this so we can move on. But Guy is the one that I've seen people kind of go like, oh, like I don't really like the look of it. Yeah. And I was one of those people too. And then I realized, I'm like, that's intentional.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to have that reason, that reaction when you see Guy.
Yes.
Because everybody in the DC universe has the reaction when they see Guy. They go, ugh, this guy.
Yeah. And
I really thought like it was amazing that it worked so well.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the other thing is, I've even from like early on when I've read his early appearances, like for me, his first appearance for me was in Legends, the Ostrander and John Byrne book from way back when. I mean, I've always thought that Guy's outfit and haircut and all that stuff, like to him, that's the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah.
But other people are like you said, not just his him being obnoxious, but also just the fact that no, he thinks it's cool, but he's ugh, this guy.
Yeah.
That's one I probably would have saved for a later teaser, though. Personally.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm on the other side of that, where I mean, I get it, and I know it will work in the final film. I just wouldn't have put it in the first trailer. I wouldn't have put it in the first teaser.
Gotcha.
It is a loaded teaser.
It is.
Really
There's a bunch of stuff in it.
Clifton, what's one of yours?
I am looking forward to. I've been waiting for this sequel in a form for a long time, if not directly this one. And that is Tron Ares.
Oh, yeah, okay,
which is
sure.
Slated for release on October 10th, 2025. So towards the latter part of the year. Don't know how to pronounce the director's name. Might be Joachim Roning. Screenplay by Jesse Wigato and Jack Thorne, based on characters by the original Tron creators Steven Lisberger and Bonnie McBird. Starring Jared Leto, Evan Peters, Cameron Monaghan, Gillian Anderson, and Jeff Bridges.
Right, of course.
And I don't know much about this. Honestly, I haven't been following much of the production. I want to be surprised by it. But I have been waiting for a Tron sequel for 15 years at this point, or almost, from when our last installment came out, which was Tron Legacy.
Yeah, it's so nuts it's been that long.
Yeah. Well, it was about, what was it between? It was like 25 years between. Is that right? Yeah, I guess it was about 25 years between the first one and Tron Legacy, and about 15 years between Tron Legacy and this one. So they're getting faster. We're getting them faster.
Right.
Next one should be 7 years away if they make another one after this one. But like I said, I don't know much about it other than Daft Punk is not doing the soundtrack this time. Nine Inch Nails is doing the soundtrack this time. So should still have interesting music. I'm excited about the soundtrack.
But the Daft Punk thing hurt a little bit.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll see it. I liked the last one. I didn't love it, but I'll see this one, I'm sure.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna go with and I can't really put into words why this is on my list.
Okay.
And the first one I'm bringing up, but maybe we can discover now as we talk. I don't know. Go Mystery Machine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell us about this one.
This is the it's a new incarnation of the Scooby-Doo franchise.
And I love Scooby-Doo.
It's kind of an anime looking version.
Okay.
The overview that we only have one shot of it. So no trailer, no clips, nothing, just like one promotion image that came out, as is what happens with animation. When something new gets announced, you get one piece of art, and that's what you have to snack on for 2 years until it comes out.
Yeah.
But so the log line that came out with it was while visiting Japan on the ultimate foodie adventure, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo unwittingly unleash hundreds of mischievous mythical monsters and are now causing trouble all over the country. With the help of Scooby's uncle Daisuke-Doo, magical friend Etsuko, and gadget whiz Toshiro, Shaggy and Scooby have new mysteries to solve and monsters to catch.
All right.
I don't know why. I think it sounds fun. And so I had kind of an epiphany, admittedly not about this show, but about something Scooby related. It was when Velma came out.
Okay.
And the response was like everybody was just kind of like hating. And I had a moment with Velma, and I think I may have said this on Batman Cape Crusader in our season review. I had a moment with Velma where I went, Scooby-Doo is being made into stuff perennially.
Right.
All the time.
Yep.
I don't know why at this point we're getting mad at a version that changes or plays with the format or plays with the brand, because just wait a year and something else is going to come out that's going to be traditional. And that was my view of Batman. And that's kind of like my view on a lot of these things that, are gonna just be in media all the time, and this is one of them. Like,
there's 50 other years worth of Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, it's a reach. It's out of left field. They're trying something new. It could be awesome. It could not be. Who cares?
Right.
Because they're gonna do, like, on top of the fact they're gonna keep all the Scooby movies coming.
Right.
If you're a Scooby fan, so you'll have those, I'm sure. But wait a year. There's gonna be another version. I think it looks fun. I really think the design looks really neat too.
It's Scooby in a yokai anime. Yokai anime being like ghost spirit anime.
Okay.
Fairly common theme. Sounds fun. Yeah, I'm sold on it. I'll watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I like yokai anime and Scooby-Doo.
Perfect.
Right.
It's made for me.
Yeah,
right.
No, it really is. I really do think it's made for you, Clifton.
I hadn't heard about that. Or if I did, I'd only heard the title, but didn't know what it was going to be about. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'll check it out for sure.
Looks good.
So what else is out there?
Well, again, I'm going to go with a more, at least for me, I know some people are kind of, jerks, or kind of not up for this movie, but I'm up for it. I'm excited for Captain America Brave New World.
I am as well. Yeah.
I want to see it. I think the later trailers are just are pushing very much the idea of it being a Red Hulk movie, which I'm okay with, kind of. But the first trailer that came out with setting up the premise and what it's about, with the leader tease and all that. That was the one that got me. I was very excited by that one.
Right.
So. But no, I look forward to I had said before, and I'll say it again. I wasn't sure if Disney was going to pony up the money to give Anthony Mackie a full-on chance to be Captain America.
Right.
And I was glad and delighted to see that, no, they're going to back it. They're willing to, they're willing to put their money where their mouth is, which I think is important, because I think that, you have a lot of people who are kind of like, oh, it's not Steve Rogers. And then you have all those idiots who are like, well, Steve Rogers is the only, and like, no, he's not. But I like him as both Falcon, and I think he's going to be even better as I liked him in Falcon Winter Soldier, and then I think even now that he is fully Captain America, I'm very excited for this movie. I'm excited for Giancarlo in it, as well as Harrison Ford.
Right.
Kind of fuzzy on what exactly Giancarlo is going to do.
What's the plot's going to be?
Yeah, what's it going to, for the
scheming.
Right, for the person he's supposed to be playing, I'm like, okay, it's interesting, but it's also kind of, I'm kind of curious as to what it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I never thought I would see, that. Does everyone know who Giancarlo's playing?
Yes. Okay.
Zach, you know?
I knew and I forgot.
He's playing Sidewinder from the Serpent Society.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've got, that's you got science, the Serpent Society bit in it, and then you've also got something to do with Tim Blake Nelson coming back as spoiler if you didn't know this. Right. The leader, which I think I'm really intrigued by, and then on top of that, you have Harrison Ford as Ross, as Thunderbolt Ross, who's now the president, and I'm very, very, I'm kind of like, well, how is this all going to fit together? Along with the fact that it seems like they're delving back into earlier stuff, that Marvel stuff that hasn't been talked about since it happened.
Right. Yeah, we haven't seen Tim Blake Nelson since The Incredible Hulk in 2008
with Ed Norton, right?
With Ed Norton,
right.
And Liv Tyler.
I'm excited to see Harrison Ford. I'm excited to see. It's fun that he's playing.
Yeah.
With this stuff, I do think that part of possibly the maybe the lukewarm reaction, I'll say, is I think may just be also the fact that I feel like the trailers and the commercials and everything are like only showing us the same
stuff,
three scenes.
Yeah, I agree.
And you're not seeing a whole lot of it. And I think the potential for this movie to really surprise people is quite high.
Yeah.
It's like I'm impressed with how guarded they're being with.
Well, I mean, again, like I said, there's stuff in the background that I'm like, well, that's really interesting that they're dealing with that finally. And again, it's one of the things, if you're not big on trailers, you haven't really watched it, I don't want to, put it out there. Right. But I think that's the idea that, does everyone know what I'm talking about? Because I'm dancing around it.
I don't know, because you're dancing around it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm talking about the Eternals aspect of it.
Yeah.
Whatever that may be. I can only speculate because I don't know. I'm guessing it's one of those who gets to mine or take whatever's there. So That aspect of it has me intrigued too. Yeah, but I think so too. I think the fact that they're being kind of cagey, which is good because they don't normally do that. Normally they dump everything, they dump all of the stuff out that they're playing with, and we're like, see, we're making a movie out of this,
And let's not forget, Marvel lies to us.
That's true.
Right.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of lying.
It has been interesting seeing some of the trailers because, like I said, I go to movies all the time. I see stuff in the theaters all the time because I do the AMC membership thing. So I'm there with friends all the time. So I see lots and lots of trailers at the movies, and seeing like how they've done the trailers for this one has been interesting to watch the progression because they did the first trailer that was very like espionage, very intrigue, playing kind of the tone of Winter Soldier.
Right.
And so that's what we got for a while, that type of trailer, slight changes here or there. And then they did one trailer that was like showing off some of the stuff in the movie that we know is there, like, the camaraderie, like the stuff with, supporting characters that we've seen, some like funny lines, but made it feel more like more typical MCU movie. And I don't think that trailer did so well for that because the next one they did was like super intrigue and espionage. And that's the one they've been finishing on with like the 70s split screen. And if you've seen the more recent theatrical trailer,
and they're grainy and stuff.
Yeah. So I'm like, they realized what was working in that movie and what the angles were that they needed to show, which I liked because I was more excited for that angle than any other angle. But it was interesting seeing that progression in the trailers. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and it's coming up fast.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
It'll be here before you know it.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. You have anything else, Clifton?
Yes.
Okay.
This one doesn't have a date other than 2025, and that is Wake Up Dead Man, a Knives Out mystery.
Okay.
Sometime in 2025, we will get the next Benoit Blanc mystery by Ryan Johnson.
Very cool.
I didn't know that it was even filming.
Yeah, starring Daniel Craig, Josh O'Connor, Glenn Close, Josh Brolin, Mila Kunis, Jeremy Renner, Kerry Washington, Andrew Scott, Kaylee Spaney, Gerald McCormick, and Thomas Hayden Church.
Wow. For
quite an ensemble.
Yeah.
That's quite a group.
And I don't know anything about it other than that it is named after a U2 song.
Right.
And that's all I know. The cast, it's a Knives Out mystery. It's a Benoit Blanc, and I can't wait for it.
Is this the last one that he's under contract for, or did he sign 3 after Knives Out?
I can't remember.
I can't remember if he signed to make 3 after that one, or if he signed basically to make it a trilogy. So 2.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember now how it was. But I'll keep watching them.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'll keep watching them as long as they're coming, and I can't wait.
If it's only 3, that's fine, as long as at some point we get a crossover with Natasha Lyonne's character from Poker Face.
No.
That's what I want.
Right.
I want them to be in the same universe. So
yeah.
I would definitely go for that if we get the team up of that. If we only get 3. Otherwise, I agree with that. I'll keep watching them too. However many they want to make.
All right. You guys have anything else you want to get into? And then before we do our lightning round for 25?
I got one big one that I'm looking for. It is that I'm actually very excited about is The Running Man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Directed by Edgar Wright.
Nice.
Screenplay by Edgar Wright and Michael Bacall. Starring a large ensemble cast of Glenn Powell, Katie O'Brien, Daniel Ezra, Carl Glusman, Josh Brolin, Lee Pace, Jamie Lawson, Michael Cera, Amelia Jones, William H. Macy.
Wow.
It's a big cast.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for it. I don't know what it is. I always had some affinity for the 80s film Running Man.
Mm-hmm.
But not so much affinity that it was like precious to me.
Okay.
Like I just loved watching it as like goofy, campy fun. And I was like, Edgar Wright I'll watch an Edgar Wright version. I'll see what he does to it. Like, I mean, I'm not opposed to any kind of remake on it. It's not that precious a film to me, though I did love it growing up. So I'm ready for like a new fun, campy take on it. I can't wait.
Okay.
again, don't know much about it other than
Right.
it's a remake of the 1987 film The Running Man, which was an adaptation of a Stephen King novel where a guy gets put into like a death game where everyone's trying to kill him. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
That's very cool.
Very nice. Yeah, I had that in my lightning round entry. Yeah, no. Just because we don't have anything for it just yet, right? But yeah, no, I think it sounds fun. It sounds really, really fun.
It's slated for release at the end of the year, November 7th, 2025. So
Okay.
a little bit of a wait, but I think it's going to be a ton of fun.
Very cool.
Beautiful. All right, lightning round. Let's go ahead. I will kick it off. Day the Earth Blew Up.
Okay.
What is that?
This is the very first animated Looney Tunes movie, fully animated Looney Tunes movie that doesn't have like Michael Jordan in it or Brendan Fraser.
Right.
Or LeBron James.
Yeah, or LeBron James. Oh, that's right. Forgot all about that one. No, I'm just excited. I just, a Daffy and Porky movie, stopping an alien invasion. Great. I'm in. Let's go.
Sounds fun. When does that come out?
I don't know. This was one of those that was like maybe a canceled movie, maybe not. Then it came back. I think it did well in some screenings and stuff like that.
All right.
Possibly February. I can't quite remember though. I think it's moved around a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I have Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein for some reason.
Okay.
I have an affinity for the story.
Yeah.
I'm very excited and pleased by the fact that this was kind of his like white whale. Like he always wanted to do this, and now he's finally getting to. I think that's really, really great. He's a director that I hold in very high regard, and I think he just seems like a nice, sweet guy, and I feel like we would get along. Right. Again, nothing out for. I mean, I think you could find like set pictures if you really wanted to dig for it. I didn't go too crazy with that, but we know it's going to star Oscar Isaac. We know Jacob Elordi's in it. Christoph Waltz. I believe I have heard that he's attempting to kind of like be like very, very faithful to the book. So there are probably, I think it sounds like there's going to be scenes that have not yet been filmed.
Okay.
Because I mean, every version has changed stuff and things of that nature and stuff. So I think there's some aspects of the book that have never truly been adapted yet. I could be wrong. Frankenstein's been in the movies a lot.
Yep.
And I believe this is going to be on Netflix in 2025. I don't know that we have a release date yet. I feel like it's in my list every year. Win Lose, the Pixar TV show.
Yeah.
That's about like the Little League team.
It'll come out
this
someday.
thing perpetually gets pushed back over and over and over again.
Right.
I think it's finally happening. We finally got a trailer for it.
Yeah.
I think it looks good. So here it is again.
All right.
I think we're getting Wednesday season 2 this year.
Probably.
Finally, which is good. I did watch the first season with my wife, and I enjoyed it very, very much. And I believe we're getting some Airbender stuff this year, possibly.
Okay.
Which I will eat that stuff up as well. Animated stuff, not the Netflix live action. Not to confuse the two. Like the first projects, I think, coming from that Airbender Studios thing that Nickelodeon started. And then lastly, I think also we're probably looking at Primal season 3, the Gendy Tartakovsky show, which again we don't have a date, but I've at least seen in interviews that he's like, nope, like we're wrapping up the last episode of season 3, like we're putting the finishing touches on it, so it's almost good to go. So probably something announced soon. We hope maybe.
All right. When was the last Primal? When was season 2?
I want to say 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Because last year was Unicorn, I believe.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. He's doing a lot though.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, lightning round for you guys. Anything I forgot? Anything else?
Thunderbolts.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I am looking forward to that one as well.
I'm very excited for Thunderbolts. I like a
Yeah.
good villains, quote unquote.
A good anti-hero.
Yes. Team, dysfunctional team. Your Suicide Squads, your Thunderbolts. I think there's going to be, I'm hoping Marvel gave us a twist. The original book gave us a pretty, amazing twist at the end of the first issue.
Mm-hmm.
If you've not read it, go read it. Kurt Busiek.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Kurt Busiek original one.
Right.
Not that the other million incarnations are good or bad. I'm just saying that's the one that's got us here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this movie. I like the actors involved. I think the idea that they're going to give us a movie of characters that are not necessarily even B or C listers
Right.
put together in a movie. I mean, you could argue for some of them, but mostly they're not. So,
but they are, like, for the most part, they're supporting characters in other movies that I was always happy to see more of. Like,
yeah, of course.
I'm a big Ant-Man and the Wasp fan, and I thought Ghost was a cool character.
Yep.
In Ant-Man and the Wasp, so I'm glad
Mm-hmm.
they found more to do with her.
Yep.
Elena's always fantastic. Red Guardian's always fun.
Yeah, I was gonna say the I don't know if we'll get the same. I don't know if you guys saw it, but the recent What If.
I did, yes.
Did you get to see it, Zach?
Nope.
There's a particular episode where it's pretty much a buddy cop homage, which was one of my favorites of the last season. Which is
it's a good one.
Is between Bucky and Red Guardian, and I hope we get a little of that in the current MCU.
That sounds fun.
Oh, it's terrific.
A fun one.
Yeah, it's really good. Both voice actors, David Harbour and Stan Sebastian, come back for it. So they both do the voices, and they seem like they're having fun as characters. So I'm hoping we get a little Butch and Sundancey stuff with them. But yeah, overall, as Clifton was saying, just seeing more of these characters kind of getting a chance to shine and be maybe, little gray area characters. We don't know whether or not they're going to be good or bad or what they're going to end up doing, whether they end up working for Val or not.
Right.
We'll have to see. So, but the trailers I've seen for it have got me excited. So I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that one. Any other lightning rounds for you, Frank?
The only one that, again, I'm going to go TV heavy is while we have not gotten a trailer, I guess because maybe he doesn't want to overshadow Superman, is we're supposed to get Peacemaker season 2 in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I enjoyed that. I was amazed at how good John Cena is as Peacemaker, both in the Suicide Squad and in his own show. So I'm looking more.
Peacemaker's good.
Yeah, I'm looking for more. Looking forward to more of that. But yeah, those are my two. Those are my lightning round ones. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but that's probably it.
For my lightning round, I have upcoming TV series, upcoming HBO series. Welcome to Derry. It.
Oh yeah, that's what that should have been on my list. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too.
Which I don't know much about it other than that it is in the world of Stephen King's It and is a prequel to the more recent film versions, the 2017 and 2019 It Chapters 1 and 2.
Which were great.
Yeah. And being developed by the team that brought you those movies, Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti and Jason Fuchs. I don't know much else about it other than that.
No,
Bill Skarsgård reprising his role.
Yep.
As Pennywise.
I did just read an interview with him about it. Like last night. So I think he did do an interview about it, like very, very recently.
Okay.
That's circling around. So look out for that. Either because you want to watch it, or in your case, Clifton, I'm telling you, actually look out for it if you don't want to know anything.
Right. Well, I mean, I know in the It story, it happens in cycles, and that is what the book is about, is following it happening, the cycle happening twice in our main characters' lifetimes, but they allude to it having happened before and before and before. Mm-hmm. So the show, I assume, is picking up at an earlier point in the cycle.
Mm-hmm.
That would be, I think, a safe assumption.
Yep, I think you were correct there.
So definitely looking forward to it. And Bill Skarsgård, and it's crazy what he gets up to. He loves he loves playing the grotesque characters now.
He's a good Pennywise for sure.
Yeah. And then my other lightning round is Nintendo Switch 2.
Yeah.
The whole new console, the long-awaited Nintendo Switch 2, long rumored. It looks a lot like the first one from what we've seen so far. It looks like the Switch 1. You really, if you squint, you really can't tell them apart. But it's going to be great. It's going to be great. Like, I'm excited. I'm excited for it. I'm sure it'll be cool. We don't know when it's coming out. We know we're getting more information April 2nd, I think. If I remember right, that's when they might tell us the actual release date for it. We don't know anything else about it other than it's just the new Nintendo console that long awaited. The Switch 1 came out in 2017, so it's been a while. 8 years for this cycle, for this console cycle. And I do suspect that Metroid Prime 4 will be a launch title for it. Because I had a pre-order for Metroid Prime 4 that I placed on Amazon in 2017 that they canceled last month after 7 years.
Right.
Or 8 years. After 8 years, they canceled my pre-order. So I think they're making it a launch title for Switch 2. That's my suspicion. I'm not angry. I'm not bitter about that. But
No, not at all.
But that's my other big excitement. I can't wait to see what games we're getting on Switch 2.
Nice. Good stuff coming, I hope.
Yeah.
2025 should be good.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, if you guys would like to suggest a topic, you can tell us what it is in the comments. Or you can email us at info@letmeknowhowitis.com. You can also find us on Blue Sky. You can track us down with our handle at LMKHII. We're reminding you that you can find links and examples to everything we talk about on letmeknowhowitis.com, where you can check out all of our past episodes. Just please, however you may be listening, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave us a review, and follow us on social media. And we will see you guys next time.